One question which people have been asking me about is should we give loans to our friends and relatives? So I'll split it into two parts. One is to friends and one is to relatives, and I'll separate the two simply because I feel that the two are not exactly the same. Suppose your parent was to ask you for a loan. Let's say it's a parent was never asked you for money. Will you give? The answer is yes, of course you will give. Why will you give, right? So first of all, for a parent, why will you give? You will give a parent a loan if the parent wants to buy some big asset, has a medical emergency, or has some such requirement. You won't ask too many questions if your parent has spent on your education, on your marriage, and generally for your upbringing. You will not ask. However, the exceptions are when a parent has not been a responsible parent, has some alcohol addiction or some gambling addiction or stock market addiction. I'm finding that quite common these days. A bad broking company together can ruin many people. I mean, I've seen 80-year-olds getting addicted to F&O trading, right? So in such cases, you may put your foot down saying, look, I'll not give you a loan. I don't have the ability to give you a loan. But other than that, to the parent, it's hardly going to be questioned whether to give a loan. Next category would be siblings. Should you give loans to your siblings? Now again, let's split it into various categories. When a sibling is acquiring a big asset and has a shortfall, right? So he or she is buying a big asset and has a 20 lakh, 30 lakh shortfall, and you are in a position to help, right? So one such case. Second is your children asking for a loan. Your children know that you have money and they're buying a house, so that's a time when they are asking for a loan. Or in case of a medical emergency, right? So in case of a medical emergency not covered adequately by medical insurance or by their credit card, or saying that look, I thought it was cashless, it's not cashless, so I have to pay, and as soon as I get the reimbursement from the insurance company or from my own company, I'll be able to pay it to you. It is not cashless, so requiring a small amount of money or a big amount of money, but for a very short period, very clearly knowing from where it is going to be repaid. The other case I see is a permanent subsidy from a brother or a sister to a person who is constantly living beyond their means. So, person earning 50,000 and spending 55,000 needs a 5,000 rupee subsidy every month, and there are parents and siblings willing to provide it. Should you provide this? This is a question which you have to answer. It is not something which a financial advisor or a YouTuber is ever going to be able to answer for you. You have to decide whether, because in many such cases when they are living beyond their means, the money that you are giving is gone. It's a gift rather than a loan. So let us make the distinction very clearly. One is a gift. Second is a subsidy. I know a parent who subsidizes their children's foreign tours. So he says, I will sponsor your foreign tour once in 3 years. You want to go more often, that's your call, but every 3 years I'll take you on a foreign tour. Wherever you want to go, you can decide, and we'll all go there, right? So making arrangements, all that is your job, but I'll pay the bill. Such a thing is called a subsidy. It's not a gift, right? It's not a loan. Maybe you call it a gift or you call it a subsidy, it doesn't really matter, but then this is available to all your children. It's not just to one child that you are giving this, right? So some child who can't come, well, he or she keeps it in reserve and says, I will use it the next time, right? Something like that, or I'll go separately because I can't come now. But this person, I know one person who has his dates also fixed, and he tells them that don't make commitments. I'll take you on a 3-4 day, 5-day trip abroad, maybe a little longer also. So that's very clearly subsidy. Now if you are a parent, let's say you're a parent, you have 4 children, very rare these days, but yeah, let's say you have 4 children. You have 2 crores to be given to them. So 2 crores divided by 4 is 50 lakhs each if you and your spouse drop dead today. So the one son of yours comes and says, I want a 20 lakh loan for buying a house. It's clearly a loan, right? It's not a gift, it's a loan. So you say, yes, I'll give you 20 lakhs. This is very important now at this stage to have it in writing, that your son has asked you for money. So make sure that is an agreement which says, your son says, I'm buying this house and I'm going to use this money towards that. I will be repaying this 20 lakhs to you over the next 1 or 2 years without interest or with interest or whatever it is. Once once you have it in writing, make sure you incorporate it in your will. Now you have 4 children, so 2 crores divided by 4 is 50 lakhs each, but you've already given 20 lakhs to one kid, so you don't have 2 crores, maybe you have only 1 crore 80, but it is still 2 crores divided by 4, so it is 50 50 50, and the third kid gets only 30, because this has to be incorporated in the will, because here it is a significant portion. You cannot give equally to all, plus you have given a loan which has not come back. For whatever reasons, it's not come back. Maybe you dropped dead the day you gave the loan, or the son did not repay. I know cases where the repayments came regularly for 6 months, and then there was a 2-month delay, then there was a 1-month delay, then there was again a 2-month delay, then the interest payments were not coming. So the parent was a little worried as to whether the money is coming. So he reminded the son that look, you are supposed to pay interest, and you have to pay all the principal also. The son got a little in the second year or the third year, the installments stopped coming, the interest did not come, interest had not come at all, and now he was worried simply because he knew that this money is perhaps lost and this money is not coming back, and it was not a very small amount of money, and the father was not too old. The father was only 72, 73, and he needed the money, saying, I might need it at a later stage. At that stage, he went and he did not confront the son, but he called for a meeting and he told everybody, look, I've already given him so much and he is not repaid, he is not paid interest. So on that, I will have to rewrite my will, and in my will rewriting, I'm going to give less to him than to you, and I'm saying it very clearly that there will be no more loans. I don't have the cash flow to provide loans. Yes, I have this nice house, I have the cash which I require, but I have no money to give any loans to anybody. So it's very clear that husband and wife decided to help one son and said, I can't help the other children simply because I've already given this, and I'm not interested in giving away more before my death and my wife's death, so your mother's death. So that clarity has to be there, because see, if you have 20 crores and you're giving 10 lakhs, then it's hardly a loan. It doesn't really matter. You need not even incorporate it in your will, because it's not going to be a very significant portion of what you're going to live 5 crores for each kid, so you left one kid 10 lakhs extra. It doesn't really matter, right? But even that has to be in writing. It is also nice to have this in writing, because if you are claiming interest as an expense from some other person, and you're giving an interest-free loan to anybody else, very likely that the income tax authorities will not like it. Fair enough. If I borrow money for my work, for whatever, maybe I want to buy a car, maybe I want to buy a air conditioner or buy something, and I'm claiming that interest as an expense, and I give my money away to my son, daughter, husband, wife, whoever, then it's obvious that they will not allow that as an expense. So have it in writing. Be clear with your spouse what you will give and what you will not give. Suppose you tell your spouse that any parent, we will not ask any questions up to 10 lakhs, we will just give. We know our parents, we know they are responsible, so we will not ask why they wanted, we will not embarrass them. They did not ask us whether they should pay our school fees, they paid, and so therefore we will give. So with parents, that is the relationship. With siblings, the relationship is, if the husband's brother or sister ask, it will be the wife who will decide whether it is to be given, because tomorrow if the loan were not to come back, it creates animosity between the couple. You don't want that to happen, so you say this is a joint decision, we may not get back the money. So your brother has asked for 10 lakhs, let us give him 1 lakh and say, look, this is what we can afford. Right now our cash flow does not permit, we are not interested in removing money from the equity market simply because the markets are down, or whatever be the reasons, or we are also going to make a down payment for a house for our son or daughter, whatever, depending on your age. So you can give all those kind of excuses, and when you give 1 lakh instead of 10 lakhs, you are actually in your mind writing off that 1 lakh. So give an amount which you can afford to give. Consult other siblings. If one sibling comes to you and says, I want a loan, make sure that he is not borrowed or she is not borrowed from the others, right? Also check out whether this is a permanent subsidy. Is it something which that person is asking for you regularly? Is the person asking you for 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 every month? Then which means you're subsidizing. He's earning 50,000 and spending 70, so he needs a 20,000 shortfall. Some siblings can say, look, my money is stuck. I bought some shares which are not going up. I bought some shares which are illiquid. I've got some real estate which I'm unable to sell off. Best is to help your sibling sell off that asset, because that means you're raising his or her own money for themselves, right? You're not giving a loan. So sit with them, help them, find them a broker. That makes more sense than giving a loan. Give a loan amount which you can afford to lose. So if 10 lakhs is too big for you to lose, don't give 10 lakhs. Maybe give 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs and say, I'll give you later, or something like that. Stall it, or say, how will you repay? Tell me that. I will be taking a loan from my office, or I will be taking a personal loan. So that kind of a thing. Another thing is, sometimes your siblings don't have enough credit worthiness to be able to borrow. Like you say, I'll be borrowing from my credit card, or I'll be taking a personal loan and giving it to you. It is your duty to repay that loan. So that puts some pressure, because now the money has to be paid to HDFC Bank and not to you, because the HDFC Bank is going to debit your account anyway, right? So you're putting some kind of a pressure. Having it in writing helps. Consulting your spouse helps. Now, what happens when it is your friend? So if your friend, you're situated in US, you have a friend who is traveling, and he calls you from some other country and says, look, I immediately require $5,000, $10,000, whatever, an amount which he knows you will have, an amount he knows won't hurt you, an amount which you actually can spare, but you're not sure whether it will come back. It is absolutely necessary for you at this stage to consult your spouse, because she is going to say, look, your friend did not return the money. So when it is the husband's friend, it is the wife who has to decide. When it's the wife's friend, it is the husband who has to decide, so that it's a joint decision. Both of you together have taken this decision. Have it in writing, exactly all that I said for the sibling loan. That's important to stick to all that. And if it's a person who is not very well known, or is a neighbor or things like that, I think you should say, look, I have a liquidity problem or something. I mean, they know you're rich from the car you drive, from the vacations you take, from the dress you wear. But you can always pretend that, look, there's a cash flow crisis. I put all my money into some shares which are unlisted, and I'm waiting for that to be listed. I invested in when the share price was high. I cannot afford to sell it now. Whatever be the reasons, give excuses. It's your money. You did not be bulldozed or pressurized by anybody to giving these kind of loans. So be careful about what you're doing. Thank you.